In today's editorial page, we are getting everyone's opinions on if there's added pressure on the New York Football general managers now that they are picking back-to-back at 2 and 3 in the draft. Now, down the road, we're always going to look at how the Jets and Giants did with these picks as really seminal moments for each franchise. Additionally, if one team hits with the pick while another misses, boy, will we be talking about that forever. Willie, is there added pressure on Mike Maccagnan and Dave Gettleman because the Jets and the Giants are now picking back-to-back at the top of the draft?
I think the Jets more so to the Giants because the Giants do still have Eli Manning, and they do have an Odell Beckham, which at this point, if you look at the Jets, they don't have nobody on the receiving corps for them that looks like Odell Beckham. They don't have a franchise quarterback. So I think right now a lot of pressure is on the Jets considering that they've had 2 losing seasons, and we just talked about it. They can't lose. I mean, it has to be right on. They have to hit bullseye. And I think, you know, I really believe Mike Maccagnan is the man for the job. I think he's learned from the Hackenberg pick. I think he knows what he wants, and he's going to go after it.
Mara?
At least not going back-to-back, they kind of know what their options are. There's way less variables, so in that sense, I don't think it's as stressful. But really, being back-to-back, I don't think it's that big of a deal. I think where it'd be a big deal is like we were talking about before, is down the line. If the Giants pass up on a quarterback, the Jets take the guy ends up being a star, that's where it's really going to become that rivalry in New York, and that's where it's really going to be tough. And then in terms of the Jets, too, if they mishandle the situation, as we already know, Maccagnan's been in some hot water, at least in terms of picking quarterbacks. Granted, not at this caliber, but still, he has to land it, too. So that's where the issues lie, I'd say.
Well, see, I think there was pressure on both guys already coming into this draft. Gettleman in his first year as GM, Maccagnan is on the hot seat, and especially, as you mentioned, Willie, picking Hackenberg, you know, with the second-round pick. So, look, but now that they're back-to-back, I agree with you, Mara. If the Giants, if they both take quarterbacks, these two quarterbacks are going to be linked together forever in New York history, good or bad. Well, yeah, and if you take one, if you're the Giants, you take the wrong guy, then and as you mentioned, and the Jets take the right guy, and the Jets take the one who ends up being
but I also think we forget the supporting pieces around him. Yeah, like I just mentioned, you mentioned Odell. Now you have a defense in the Giants.
Right. Well, I'm not looking at it short term though.
Right. But I also think a lot to their development, if they both pick quarterbacks, is the supporting pieces. That's going to determine how far they go and the success they have. Because right now the Giants, I think, are just ahead of the curve. The Jets are.
Well, and the Jet pick might have to play sooner than the Giant pick.
Exactly.
It is interesting though when you look back at the last time they both were in this spot, 2 and 3. I mean, it worked out for both teams. Lawrence Taylor for the Giants, and Freeman McNeil was great for the Jets. Great for the Jets. So it can work out where there's both, but I do think it adds pressure.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the Jets, they have less pressure in the sense that they're getting, if you want to call it, the scraps of the best. So in some ways they might be forced into, if they both take quarterbacks, they might take the third best one. And in that case, you could say, hey, look, we did the best we could. The other guy
was there.
Right, we took the guy that was there. So in that case, I feel like there's less pressure. But the Giants, that's where I feel like that's where the spotlight's going to be, seeing what they do.
But there's some fatalism that comes in, right? Maybe you've heard Jet fans are a fatalistic bunch. And so you could just see, you could just see where the Giants get a Hall of Famer and the Jets don't.
Don't put that in the universe, Jonas. Why would you think that? We are due for a Hall of Famer. We haven't had one since Willie Joe.
I'm with you.
And possibly Kevin Milwaukee.
The fact that they moved up to get this pick, so that adds a lot more pressure, too. So now, I don't know, it's kind of going hand in hand.
We're due, Jonas.
See, what I'm trying to put it out in the universe so it doesn't happen. It's the Costanza opposite thing again.